You might be sitting on a small fortune right now and have absolutely no idea. Somewhere in a drawer, in a jewelry box, or at the bottom of a relative's belongings, there are old birthstone pieces that look like nothing in particular. A ring with a faded stone, a brooch with a birthstone you don't even know the significance of, a bracelet with monthly charms that feel dated and heavy. Pieces that most people would assume are worthless sentimentality. And some of them are worth hundreds, thousands, or in the rarest cases, tens of thousands of pounds. The difference between someone who knows and someone who doesn't is what this video is entirely about. Starting with number 10. Number 10. Victorian birthstone rings with natural gemstones. A ring with a single stone, faded and slightly cloudy with age. Looks like something that served its purpose decades ago. The stone is small by modern standards. The setting is ornate and heavy. The metal is often worn thin by daily wear, which is exactly why these rings get left in boxes at estate sales and priced at nothing. What the uninformed eye misses is that a Victorian birthstone ring with a natural gemstone, even a small one, has significant value that has nothing to do with fashion. A natural sapphire, emerald, ruby, or other gemstones set in a Victorian gold ring with clear hallmarks can sell for $400 to $3,500 at auction, depending on the size and quality of the stone and the maker's marks. The cloudiness is often just surface dirt, not damage to the stone itself. An expert valuer can determine the difference in seconds. The ornate setting that seems old-fashioned is often solid gold, and the hallmark on the inside of the band is everything. Number 9. Art Deco birthstone brooches with enamel work. A brooch with a central birthstone surrounded by enamel work in muted colors looks like a dated piece from a fashion era nobody particularly values. The enamel is sometimes slightly worn. The central stone is often not obviously precious. The overall aesthetic is overly ornamental by contemporary standards, which is why these brooches get left unworn and donated to charity shops. What most people don't realize is that well-made Art Deco brooches with natural gemstones and enamel detail are among the most collected pieces of 20th century design. A silver or gold Art Deco brooch with a natural birthstone and enamel work in good condition can sell for $500 to $4,000 at auction, depending on the maker and the quality of both the stone and the enamel. The ornate detail that seems excessive is the exact quality that makes it valuable. Number 8. Birthstone charm bracelets with solid gold or silver charms. A bracelet covered in small monthly charms, each one representing a different birthstone, looks cluttered and dated to modern eyes. The charms are small and sometimes tarnished. The bracelet itself might be rolled gold or silver. The overall effect is busy and old-fashioned, which is why these bracelets end up in charity shop boxes for £1 or $2. What the uninformed eye misses is that a charm bracelet with solid gold or silver charms, each one set with an actual gemstone, is a documented piece of mid-20th century social history. A bracelet with 12 silver or gold charms, each set with a natural or high-quality synthetic birthstone, in good condition with clear hallmarks, can sell for $400 to $2,500 at auction, depending on the material and the quality of the stone. The clutter is the point. That clutter is a birthstone for every month recorded in miniature. Number 7. Vintage birthstone pendants in rolled gold with original chains. A pendant with a single birthstone in a rolled gold setting, hanging from a chain that has lost its original luster. Looks like a generic piece from a forgotten era. The stone is small. The setting is simple. The chain is thin and worn, which is why these pendants get left in boxes and never worn. What most people don't realize is that rolled gold, which is mechanically bonded gold rather than plated, has often survived decades without losing its finish. A rolled gold birthstone pendant with a maker's mark and an original chain in good condition can sell for $150 to $600, depending on the maker and the quality of the stone. The simplicity that made it affordable when new is the exact quality that makes it collectible now. Before we continue, if this is already making you think about a specific birthstone piece, subscribe now. The next video covers exactly how to identify natural versus synthetic birthstones without specialist equipment and how to get old gemstones properly valued. That information could be worth hundreds to you. Number 6. Birthstone rings in pinchbeck with semi-precious stones. Pinchbeck is an alloy that looks like gold but isn't. A ring in pinchbeck with a semi-precious stone like amethyst or topaz looks like cheap costume jewelry to modern eyes. The metal is dulled by age. The stone is small and unimpressive. The setting is simple and worn, which is why these rings get left in boxes. What most people don't realize is that pinchbeck itself, particularly when it bears maker's marks and is combined with period-appropriate semi-precious stones, is now a collector category. A pinchbeck birthstone ring with a maker's mark and a semi-precious stone in good condition can sell for $100 to $500 at auction, depending on the maker and the rarity of the stone. The very material that was meant to simulate gold is now what makes it valuable as a historical object. Number 5. Vintage birthstone bracelets with original presentation boxes. A bracelet with birthstone, or a single significant birthstone in its original box, even if the box is worn and faded, looks like a vintage gift set that served its purpose decades ago. The piece itself might be tarnished, the box might be damaged, and the lining torn. The whole thing reads as sentimental clutter rather than anything with monetary value, which is why complete sets in original boxes get donated to charity shops, where dealers routinely separate the piece from the box and treat the box as rubbish. Here's what most people never learn. A birthstone piece with its original, matching presentation box, particularly if the box carries a jeweler's name and the piece has clear hallmarks, is worth meaningfully more than the same piece sold alone. A vintage birthstone bracelet with its original box and hallmarks in good condition can sell for $200 to $1,000 at auction, depending on the maker and the quality of the stones. The box is not packaging, it's provenance. Number 4. Edwardian birthstone lockets with seed pearls. A small locket with a single birthstone set among tiny seed pearls in a pale, delicate setting looks fragile and easily overlooked. The pearls are natural, not the uniform cultured pearls people expect today, which means they're often slightly irregular in size and shape. To an untrained eye, that irregularity reads as a flaw. To a specialist, it's confirmation of age and authenticity. A well-executed Edwardian locket combining a birthstone with natural seed pearls in a platinum or gold setting can sell for $600 to $5,000 at auction, depending on the complexity of the design and the condition of the pearls. The delicacy that makes it look like it might fall apart is precisely what Edwardian jewelers were known for, and precisely what collectors are looking to find. Number 3. Suffragette-era birthstone jewelry in green, white, and violet. This one requires context most people never receive. Between 1908 and the 1920s, British suffragette jewelry used a specific color code: green for give, white for women, violet for votes, spelling out GWV through gemstone color. Pieces using amethyst, pearl, and peridot, or emerald in that specific combination, look, to modern eyes, like unremarkable birthstone jewelry with mismatched colors. Nobody realizes the color combination is deliberate, which is why these pieces get sold without anyone recognizing what they actually represent. An identified suffragette color piece with the correct combination of natural stones, particularly with a hallmark placing it in the correct period, can sell for $800 to $6,000 at auction, depending on the piece type and documented provenance. The history embedded in the color choice, not the stones themselves, is what drives the value here. Most sellers never know what they're holding. Number 2. Retro period cocktail rings with large synthetic birthstones. Big, bold rings from the 1940s with a large, brightly colored central stone look like costume jewelry from a bygone era of excess. The stone is often suspiciously perfect, too clear, too evenly colored, which leads people to assume the whole piece is worthless. Here's the twist. During the 1940s, synthetic corundum, meaning lab-grown sapphires and rubies, were used deliberately in high-quality gold setting because natural stones were difficult to source during wartime. A synthetic stone in a solid gold retro-period setting is not a fake trying to deceive you. It's a documented wartime design choice. The gold content alone in a large retro cocktail ring can push melt value above $300. And if the design and maker are notable, the collector value climbs to $500 to $2,500. The suspiciously perfect stone is the exact detail that identifies the period and confirms it's not a modern reproduction. Number 1. Georgian Birthstone rings with foil-backed stone. A ring with a stone that seems unusually bright or reflective for its age, in a closed-back setting that doesn't allow light through from behind. Looks like a strange, almost crude piece of old jewelry. Modern rings are open-backed to let light pass through the stone naturally. This one isn't, and that closed setting is the giveaway. Georgian jewelers placed a thin sheet of metal foil behind the stone to enhance its brilliance and color before modern cutting techniques could achieve the same effect naturally. A Georgian ring with a foil-backed natural gemstone in its original closed setting is a specific and rare survival, since many were later converted to open settings and lost their foil in the process. An untouched Georgian foil-backed birthstone ring in gold can sell for $1,000 to $10,000 at auction, depending on the stone, the metal, and how well the original foil has survived. The crude-looking closed setting is not a design flaw. It's proof the piece was never modernized, and that's exactly what makes it rare. But here's the one thing that connects all of these. Across all periods and all styles, the single most reliable indicator that an old birthstone piece is worth investigating is unexpected weight, combined with a stone that has genuine, if sometimes irregular, character. Natural stones have inclusions, slight color variations, occasional surface wear that reads as imperfection. Perfectly uniform, flawless-looking stones in old settings are more often synthetic. Slightly imperfect stones in heavy, well-hallmarked settings are the ones worth a second look. If you pick something up at a car boot sale, a charity shop, or from a relative's belongings and think that stone looks a bit off, or that's heavier than I expected, that's not a minor observation. That's the beginning of a conversation with a qualified valuer. Trust that feeling. The jewelry industry makes its money on the pieces that look flawless. The collector market makes its money on the pieces that don't quite look right by modern standards. Every expert valuer in this country has a story about something extraordinary that arrived in a carrier bag from a house clearance. A ring that looked like nothing particular until someone paused long enough to check the hallmark and look closely at the stone. The difference between that piece ending up at auction for thousands, ending up in a landfill, is one person's willingness to look closer. Be that person. Tell me in the comments if you own anything that fits one of these categories. And if you know your own birthstone piece has a story behind it, tell me what it is. I want to know what's still sitting quietly in jewelry boxes across this country. And if this video made you look at an old birthstone piece differently, share it with someone who's currently clearing out a relative's home. That share might be worth considerably more than you think.